Shrimp-O-Maniac says, apparently there's an imminent story about Mark Robinson in North Carolina regarding, quote, activities on adult websites in the 2000s. He's being pressured to withdraw from that race. All of this according to the Carolina Journal. I'm interested in that. Can we pull up that old sermon that he
I did too.
Apparently, there's a story dropping about Mark Robinson, who is kind of like single-handedly dragging down Republicans' chances in North Carolina. I mean, I think Kamala Harris is going to win North Carolina, in part because of how insane this dude is. The Republican nominee, Trump-endorsed guy, this was unearthed by, I think, the Huffington Post, a sermon of his from 2 years ago on birth control.
You see, in this age of information, we use a lot of that information. One of the things we love to tell our young men and women is, we want to empower you so that you can be strong in society. Particularly, we love to tell our young women that. We want to empower you. We want to help you to build up your mind so you can be empowered. Here's a novel idea. Why don't you use some of that building up of your mind and building up of empowerment to move down here to this region down here?
Oh.
And get this under control. See, because this region right here, that's the only region on your body that can make life and take life.
What?
Because anything we need to be telling our young people is they need to be responsible with their reproductive systems. That means you don't lay down and act like you're making a baby till you're ready to have a baby. All this giving out of birth control and advising people how to, wait, you see, if you do it this way, you won't have a baby. If you do it that way, here's how you don't have a baby. You don't have what you do to make a baby till you're ready to have that baby. You be responsible with your body. That's a novel idea. Has not reached our school system, sadly. That's right.
All right, so
what?
That's him saying that.
What's the take a life thing?
I don't know how your genitalia can take a life. I mean, I guess if the sex is that good, but I don't really know.
Well, you see, in French, they call the orgasm le petit mort, and so he's making a very deep cut.
He's so cultured.
Implicit French idiom reference there, I'm sure.
I don't like when pastors go off script. I think you should stick to reading the Bible. Not to tell someone how to do their job. I don't like these little off script rants.
Is he actually a pastor? That's the one thing that I'm not like. He just decided
he just
to get
walked
up
into
there?
the church. Yeah, he just walked up into the church and was like, you know what? It's my time.
Because he's done sermons before where he said controversial things, including like the Charlotte Observer reported this in 2021 because he was lieutenant governor. He was at a church and so this must have been in his capacity as lieutenant governor. It doesn't really matter. But he had gone to a church and said that, heterosexual couples are superior to gay couples. He didn't understand the purpose of being gay.
Yeah, he's a pastor in the Church of Rush Limbaugh.
I just assumed that he was a pastor because he do the pastor cadence. He's doing the,
right,
the make a life, take a life thing. Like he's speaking pastorally.
Yeah.
And a lot of these unearthed videos are him just speaking in front of what seem to be like broadly empty churches. It's kind of a quiet din of people listening to him while he leers around the altar of the church.
So, I mean,
he's getting some positive feedback.
Yeah, right. Like this,
genitals do kill people for sure.
For sure, he's probably referring to like disease, but either way, it's just. I mean, like what century are we in? No birth control because you gotta the control you have to worry about is controlling your genitalia. He's asking people not to have sex before they have the ability to have children. It's super realistic. Great policy. But this is the guy, he has shared very anti-Semitic content on his Facebook page. He is a QAnon believer kind of guy. I don't know what's going to take this guy down if these reports that people are hinting at must be pretty bad if we already have a lot of bad stuff out there about him.
Just regarding that clip, though, I just want to say, like, just how weird how he's harping on his quote unquote novel idea. I mean, as a teen, like, all you learn about sex is about having safe sex and either not having it or being safe about it. This is by far not a novel idea when you're young.
It's really not. It's like actually the exact opposite of novel, because it's been said by religious conservatives for many, many lifetimes.
Right, like in your head, whether you go to like public school or private school, if it's a religion-based teaching or not a religion-based teaching, they just wherever you are, it's about safe sex when you're young. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
A certain type of religious freak gets off on talking about sex in church in a moralistic way. I've heard it. I remember being at like teen mass in North Dakota, and the way that one of the sort of young youth pastors was talking about blowjobs was, I just think, fucking weird. But sources say with direct knowledge have spoken with Carolina Journal on the condition of anonymity and say that Robinson is under pressure from staff and members of the Trump campaign to withdraw from the governor's race due to the nature of the story, which they say involves activity on adult websites in the 2000s. According to sources, Robinson has resisted withdrawing and privately denies the story. I don't know what this is.
So he's got to get control of this a little bit.
Right. Whether he was just commenting on maybe certain videos that would be embarrassing to comment on, or he was in videos himself. I'm going to suggest that this sort of stuff has always been known about Mark Robinson by certain people within the Republican Party and was used to control him. And that's what it's being used to do now, because it's clear that he's a loser. And so they're going right up to the deadline, but now they're trying to pull that plug that they've always had on that guy. And now they're just making it actionable. That's my prediction of what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, I think, like Emma said, a lot of the stuff is known. Like the stuff that we already know about him, his defending violence against women, his general anti-Semitic comments, that's bad for us. So I have to assume that the pornography he was watching was something that would be bad to Republicans. So I have to assume he was watching like gay porn or like, porn that includes trans people or something that they can't overlook.
Yeah. It is interesting, like Matt, you've said this before, that we underestimate the ability, like how blackmail functions in these circles and in society like that. And I think that's accurate. I mean, there's a lot of these guys on the right. Matt Schlapp comes to mind.
Exactly. A liability can very easily be an asset if it's delivered in the right way that a certain person can decide whether they want to play it or not.
That would actually, that's a great like little sermon he should do, Emma. Like you reminded me with like the black male. He should be like, and let me tell you, church, I'm a black male, but I will not be blackmailed. I will not be blackmailed for my taste in pornography.
And so what if I left him in the river and swam away from the car? What of it?
Yeah, I guess. Man,
paternity tests are not always completely accurate.
The love a man has with himself in the darkness of his office is between him and God.
And the porn theater in Greensboro, North Carolina. But that's a completely different story.
I need to know what these allegations are. We shall know soon enough.
All these completely alleged. I'm just making jokes.
Yes,
completely speculative. I'm not.
Thank you for protecting us.
I have no intel on this at all.
I don't imagine that we can guess. It's a shock for all of us.
It'll be fun. It's a little treat that we get to have.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.